Hey, folks, welcome to InTheMoneyStocks.com's intraday analysis video, brought to you by the creators of proprietary price, pattern, and time methodology. Learn the PPT strategies and profit for life. My name is Gareth Soloway, Chief Market Strategist here at InTheMoneyStocks.com. All right, guys, let's get into this analysis video on this Wednesday, April 10th, 2013. The markets are seeing a minor amount of selling in this current candle, but overall a monstrous rally higher. Right now, folks, check this out. We have the S&P 500 at all-time highs. This is an all-time high, not a closing all-time high. This is an all-time high. So this is the tops it's ever been, even intraday. And the S&P 500 up 20 points on the day. Dow up 134. NASDAQ is up 58 points, folks. That is a monster move on the NASDAQ, led by Baidu up 6 points. Google up 13. Apple's even up today, up about 8.5. Amazon's up 4. And again, tech stocks very, very strong today. Now, we are seeing a little bit of minor selling, but again, the volume is pretty light today. We've only done 87 million on the SPY. And as long as this doesn't close below the 20, you give the benefit of the doubt to this market. All right, I did pick up some VXX today on an intraday basis. I'm still holding it. My entry is at 1884. Going to hold that. I'm willing to hold it for a few days even, as I think the markets are just above trend. One thing I drew on my charts for my chat room members here at the Intra Day Stock Chat at InTheMoneyStocks.com, if you take this low and connect to this low, and then this high, this pivot here, this high, this area here, and this low, this is the midpoint of this move up. You can see we're above trend right now. So the trend is this trend line, and we're above trend. So my reasoning behind picking up a little VXX here, which is the VIX Volatility Index, is the basis of understanding that the market probably needs to at least pull back to trend. Even if the market's going to go higher over the next week or two, which I do think the Dow at this stage is going to go to 15,000 since we're less than 200 points away, I still think that, again, you probably have a pullback to this green trend line at some point in the next 24 hours. And at that point, I'll take my money off the table on VXX and then look for maybe a move up at 15,000 on the Dow Jones Industrial Average. And again, the Dow right now, folks, is trading at, get this, 14,807, 808. All right, so you're literally 192 points basically away from that 15,000 level. Once we took out the all-time high on the spiders, and assuming we close above that, I mean, if we had a huge sell-off into the end of the day, that might change my view. But right now, we'd have to have a monstrous sell-off to take that out to the downside. As long as you close above 157.52, I have to believe that the markets will tag that 15,000 level because it's such a party level on the Dow where the media is going to pump it. And again, remember how we talked about how into Fridays they like to close the market at key levels? I don't know if it'll be this Friday, but maybe next Friday. By next Friday, we get a close above that 15,000 level. And that should bring us into that next pivot point where I would think the markets would get their next pullback. And we've had pullbacks in this market, but even a little surprising to me has been this move up recently. Again, we had a beautiful pullback off this high, off the 157 Pierce, and again, nice pullback to about 153.80. We're up from that level 5 points in the last 4 days. I mean, to go 5 points on the spiders, that's basically the equivalent of 50 points on the S&P in 4 days. I mean, that is a big move, folks. That's like a 4% move, 3.5%, 4% move in a matter of a few days on the S&P 500. Just a monstrous move up here. Could this be the blow-off top? It's a possibility. But I still think at this stage that I'd at least want to see the Dow get to that 15,000 level. We'll obviously watch for any sort of topping signals like topping tails or other things. But right now, again, as a blow-off top, you got to figure they want to tag that 15,000 level on the Dow Jones Industrial Average. Now, I still have a few shorts out there that I'm holding, one being IBM. IBM I shorted at 212 and change, and I was in the money pretty nicely down. It was down to about the 206 level, but I didn't take any off the table, and now it's back to my break even. So I'm still holding it, and I'm basically flat to maybe up a couple pennies on it. Based on this magnitude of this push, I don't mind still holding it because I think the market's due for a pullback, although IBM does have earnings next week, which we want to be aware of. I did pick up 2 new shorts today I might pick up a third by the close. I want to make you aware of that. So again, we'll watch that very, very closely. Another stock that I'm short, that I've been short for a little while, is Amazon. I'm still up on Amazon about 50 cents, but again, I mean, I was in the money huge here, and it's basically back to the flat line on this based on this move. Now, again, that's a good sign from the shorts that I hold because the markets have made new all-time highs, and these stocks like Amazon can't even get back to their previous pivot highs, and I'm basically at break even after the market's making these new all-time highs. So that's a negative divergence that you like, and a good example of a negative divergence would be on Goldman Sachs here. Take a look at Goldman, folks. So Goldman, right? Here was your pivot top, lower high, and lower high. And even with the markets, so the markets are all the way up here. Markets are making new all-time highs, and Goldman can't even get above the 50 MA here. All right, I actually like this as a shorting opportunity right around 150 to 151. If maybe it hits that tomorrow into Friday. Now remember, Friday we get big earnings from J.P. Morgan and Wells Fargo, so that'll be a big deal on J.P. Morgan and Wells Fargo for the market on the financial side. And then next week we get some big earnings news. Based on where most stocks are trading, I would generally anticipate a pullback, but you never know. Again, we do have negative divergences out there, but the market, this buy the dip mentality, this Federal Reserve fueled rally in the market, it just, you get these pullbacks like I just said, and then you get these pushes back up. So again, it's kind of a wait and see attitude in this market. I do think at this stage there's a decent chance we tag that 15,000 level. Will we have a pullback in between? Sure. I mean, that's always likely. Will I profit on some other shorts that I just picked up on that? Absolutely. Will I profit on the VXX, which I'm up a couple pennies on already here? Sure. I mean, that's a no-brainer just based on the quick profits, which is one way of trading. And that's the way I like to hold my larger positions, like my IBMs and such, for bigger gains. And then I have interim positions that I want to take, smaller gains on and just continue to produce income. One stock today that I sold today, and I'd given this out basically to members. I didn't put this on the hot charts. You can see, again, where I unloaded it today, guys. Just awesome stuff here. But this stock was OXGN. I accumulated basically from $4 all the way down to about the 350 level. So my average price was actually close to about 390 was my average price, and it got as low as about 345 as the close yesterday. I think it closed at 338 yesterday. Yesterday after hours they had news on this stock, and I sold today at 453. So 453 was my selling price. I ended up banking well over basically 60 cents on 10,000 shares there in just one day. And again, when you learn how to trade small caps, that's where the money really starts to flow, folks. And again, you can trade large caps, you can trade small caps. You should learn how to trade anything. And this is another, I mean, basically I made 5-6 G's on this just in holding this position. And again, it was just a cheap biotech that was due for news. And again, it has a history of big moves. I mean, if you look at where this thing was, trading at a $7 million market cap going into today, any sort of decent news is going to shoot this thing up dramatically. So that's always a positive. All right, what else do we have here? JP Morgan Chase. Now, JPM's kind of interesting because JPM is making lower highs intraday as the market was just making a higher high and is now starting to pull back. So there's actually some negative indicators, and I like this VXX, and I like the shorts that I picked up today. I think they're going to be very, very profitable for us over the next day or so. And again, I'm not going to look for big gains on these. I just want to look for small gains. But I do think at this stage we'll get some good profits out of these plays. All right, going back to the SPY, interesting to see you closed above the 20 and now you're below. Watch to see where this current 10-minute candle closes. Does it close below? Because again, look at your range. This is your target right here to get back to that basic trend. And that's what it is. It's really just a trend. By taking this up move, you have to follow trend. I mean, it's an extended trend regardless, but now it's when it was up here way outside of trend. And that's what encouraged me to pick up a little VXX. And I'm up, I have 2,500 shares here at 1884. I'm up like $100 on it right now. But again, if the market were to pull back to this green line, that's where I take my money just as a quick trade right there on that VXX. All right, guys, I'm going to get going back to trading here. Let's keep rocking it. Come profit with the pros at InTheMoneyStocks.com. Take the 7-day free trial. And again, I hope to see you soon profiting with us. Take care.